What is up, guys? Stas here. Welcome back to some other videos. So the stock market has been unbelievable today. The bulls are crushing it with about 40 minutes left in the session. The S&P's up 2%. The Dow Jones is up 0.6%. The Nasdaq is up, get this, over 4%. And the Russell 2000 is up 2.6%. So today we're going to be talking more about the markets, breaking down some technicals, going over 7 stocks to buy now, and I also want to share what stocks I own right now and in general where my head is at as a trader and as an investor. So you guys know what to do. If you all find value, hit the like button, subscribe, get your 2 stocks from WeBull, get into the Discord chat, and make sure to check out the Patreon for real-time buy and sell alerts, call-outs, more access to me, one-on-one access throughout the day, and you guys get morning update videos every day on Patreon. All of those are linked right down below. So let's get into it. What we see right here, and again, we do have about 35 minutes left in the session. What you guys see right here is the S&P 500, and as of now, it's up almost 2%, and what I'm seeing here is it's a breakout. It's not a full-on, oh, we're going to the moon type of breakout yet, but we're seeing the initial signs of a breakout. I mean, look, and we talked about this on Patreon earlier today, and the funny thing is, guys, I mentioned this on Patreon too, and I want to mention it to you guys here. If you have a bunch of analysis on any chart, right, a bunch of trend lines everywhere, ovals, circles, you know, arrows everywhere, it looks like a bunch of mumbo jumbo, and once you clear the drawing set, you start fresh, you start to notice things that are a bit different, and that's what I did on the S&P 500 here. And let me share with you guys what I saw. And again, I mentioned this on Patreon earlier today. What I'm seeing here is a breakout, and more in particular, it was looking like a head and shoulder, right? Left shoulder, the head right here, and then this would have been the right shoulder if we failed under the neckline, which the neckline here is at about 38.70. If we failed there and dumped off, that would have been a head and shoulder, a textbook head and shoulder. But the fact that we're breaking out of the neckline at 38.70, we're about to crack 3900, which is a pretty big level. These are good signs that we're slowly turning the corner. And is it for sure yet? No, guys, it's not, because we're still under 3900. We're still under another big level, 2 big levels actually, that honestly we all have to look out for. Those 2 levels being 39.15 and 39.30. So we're still under some key points, but the fact that we broke this trend line that you're seeing, that is a good first step. And we also broke the 180 SMA here on the hourly chart, which is a good, it's a good second step, or that was actually the first thing we broke. But you guys get the point. We're seeing some confirmations here, but we're still not out of the woods, because 3900, 3915, 3930, those are still sticking points ahead of us. But overall, the fact that we're out of that neckline, again, not to say it 100 times, but this is a very, very good sign. And when it comes to the Nasdaq 100, this is up 4.5%. It's up 560 points. It's crazy to say that, but it's up 560 points, right? And what we're noticing here, like I said on the S&P, we're slowly peaking out. We're trying to break out, right? We're in the beginning stages, but on the Nasdaq, on the flip side, we're not. I mean, we're actually, in fact, still in a downtrend. Excuse me, guys. We're still in a downtrend. And just now, in the past 30-ish minutes, have we been peaking out of 12,800, which is another big resistance. And even though we're breaking 12,800, again, we're still in a downtrend. You guys can clearly see it. We're under the 180 SMA. We're under this trend line that I just drew. And that means the bulls are, the bears rather, they're still dominating this index. And going back to that 4-hour, yeah, again, 12,800. That was support back in January, early February, late February. I mean, the fact that we're breaking 12,800 is good. We might have some headway to 13,000, 13,100, but for the Nasdaq 100, guys, that is going to be a very key spot, because if we break 13,100, That's going to be a good spot. We could be going 13.3, and then mid-13s is where I think we'd be going from there. But if we fail anywhere from 12,800 to 13,000, we start to dump back off from there. We take out, let's say, mid-12, 12,000s. I think we're going back to the low 12,000. So we have to seriously be careful here. And when it comes to the 10-year took a hit. I mean, the 10-year bond yield right now, as I'm speaking, let me pull it up on my iPad. It is down 3%. So we're seeing that go down. A lot of the higher risk on assets are going crazy today, guys, and I mean crazy. Tesla's up 20%, NNDM's up 21%, Romeo Power, RMO, 21%, BNGO up 16%, and let me pull up some more here on my iPad. NEO, 17%, RIOT, which we'll talk about in a second, 35%. So, yeah, markets are going crazy. The 10 years dropping. Risk on assets are running. Tech is doing pretty well. But the question is, will it last? It could. But we're still at a spot where it could also still be a bull trap. So we have to be very, very careful. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments as always. And make sure to hit that like button. I would really appreciate that. It helps me out, helps out the channel and the algorithm. So I'd greatly appreciate it if you gently just hit that like button. And let's talk quickly about what I did today, stocks I own. And like a lot of you, probably all of you, my accounts today, they were nicely in the green. And I actually didn't buy anything in my trading account, but I did end up adding a small position in AMD. AMD as a long-term position, right? This is not a trade. It's not a swing trade. It's a long-term position. And we talked about that on Patreon earlier. I made a post. AMD at the time was at low 77s, right? And now it's almost at 79, so that was a pretty good call out. And I actually picked up some shares. I believe it was in 77.25, 77.30, right around there in the long-term growth account. So I'm super excited about that. But other than that long-term addition there, I didn't do anything else. I'm still holding on to my swings, though. Don't get that mistaken, guys. I'm still in those. Tesla. Gosh, guys, Tesla up 19% right now. It's at 670. I was buying this on the way down. Bought some. The most recent buy was at $610. Bought it there. Was buying it at 7-something, 800 even, low 800s I was buying. That's where I initiated the position. So my average cost, I got to check it again, but I still am down a tiny bit on Tesla, but let's just put it this way. I'm doing a lot better than I was yesterday, right? So Tesla, I'm in that. It's doing well. NEO is also one I'm in. Another big mover today, up 17.6%. Tattooed Chef, which they report earnings tomorrow. That is one I'm in as well, up 7% today. I'm very excited about this company. We broke $20 today. That's a good sign. 21 is the next big sticking point. We're a little bit under that right now, so I would love to see Tattooed Chef break that. But in the meantime, I'm watching it, and if we do break 21, guys, I'll probably add more to my position. And SLV, let's talk about some silver here, guys. SLV up 3.7%. The silver market did well today. Silver itself is up 3.3%. Gold is up 2.2%. And like I mentioned this morning, I mean, guys, when gold's moving 2% in a day, that's a big move. That is a big, big move for gold. And think about it. Crypto, Bitcoin, you're seeing these massive fluctuations in Bitcoin especially. That's the one I track the most, right? In fact, I don't really track many other cryptos. But when you're looking at Bitcoin, the market cap is a fraction of gold's, right? So for Bitcoin, for the swings to tighten up a bit, in other words, for it to be less volatile, the market cap needs to grow. And as it grows over time, I expect Bitcoin 3%, a 3 to 5% move in a day is going to be like, oh my God, right? That's going to be crazy. But Bitcoin right now, a 3 to 5% move is pretty much nothing, right? That's just regular price action. But trust me, in 10 years, 20 years, I mean, Bitcoin When we see a 3% move, we're going to be like, holy crap, that's big. Kind of like with gold, we see it go up 2% and the bulls are having a party, right? But a lot of the bulls are saying, a lot of the gold bugs are saying as well that they think gold's going to go, there's going to be a day where gold just goes, it just runs like crazy, right? We'll see if that happens. It might, make the 2% day look like crap. We might see a day where gold goes up 10%. We don't really know. Everything's possible. So that's pretty much what I'm holding. Let me double check. Did I miss anything there? Yeah, I missed 2. I'm in Chargepoint still. That's right. CHPT, that went up 15% today. And same with Workhorse. All of my stocks today pretty much. And again, I'm sure you guys could agree and relate. A lot of the stocks out there did very well. I mean, there's literally, I can count on one hand stocks that didn't do well today, but yeah, let me know what you guys think. Shoot me a comment down below. What are you guys doing? Hit that like button and make sure to check out the Patreon if you guys do want my real-time buy and sell alerts, real-time call-outs, and if you want access to me throughout the trading day via the DM section there on Patreon. That is really where I'm the most active. And taking advantage of that, linked right down below. So now let's talk about, excuse me, guys. Let's talk about a bunch of stocks that I'm watching right now that are doing well, but a lot of them you'll notice are still in a downtrend, but we're still going to be talking about them. Number one is DocuSign, ticker symbol DOCU. This one went up 11%. This is another one of those risk-on, high-growth assets that is doing very well because of, you could argue, the rotation slowly back into tech, right? This one up 11%, up $21. And what we're noticing here, and I mentioned this a couple days ago, $190, that is such a big level of support. And the fact that we held it, now we're trading at $215, that is a good sign for DocuSign, considering 190 held back in November, back in September as well, August, right? July multiple times. So that's a good sign. And now we're approaching another big resistance, right? There could be some headway to 220, which is the resistance. Again, we're trading at 214 right now. But once we get closer to 220, that's kind of a moment of truth scenario for DocuSign. Because if 220 breaks, the 50 SMA breaks on this 4-hour chart as well, I'm seeing DocuSign back to the higher 200s. I think we could go 235, 240, 245, 250. That is the general area that we've gone to every time in the past that we've broken above 220. So the trade here is 220 to 250, that general area. And like I say all the time, guys, the goal as a trader is not to grab every single move. I mean, it would be great to make the maximum amount of profit every trade, right? Who wouldn't want to do that? But we don't live in a fairy tale world, guys. This is not Narnia. This is not freaking the Disney Channel, right? This is real life, and that just doesn't happen. So the goal for us is to get as I don't want to say as small of a profit, but let's just say to get our piece of the pie. And by that I mean grab, let's say the move's 15%, grab 5%, grab 4%, 6% of that move, right? Heck, maybe even 10%. Or if you're lucky, which I've been lucky before, a lot of you guys have been as well, you could grab literally the whole move. There's been some times where I buy a stock at the bottom, I sell it at the top, and it plays out that way. But again, that does not happen every time. In fact, it happens a very small amount of the times. But yeah, it still happens. So yeah, that's DocuSign, DOCU. Watch for that 220 level. Tencent, TCEHY is another one that I like coming out of China. There's obviously not that many companies I like from China. I mean, I've talked about that before, but there's a couple I do like. Tencent. Obviously, Neo, Alibaba, those are the three that that I like the most. Let's put it that way. JD.com's an honorable mention. And Tencent here, We're holding the 180 SMA on this 4-hour chart in the mid-80s. We went up almost 5% today, where overall we did, I think that was yesterday, we held the high from back in the beginning of November. That was at about $81, $82. That was a good sign. And now we're gapping up. And overall, we're still in a downtrend. That's no question. I mean, you guys can see it here on the hourly, the 50 SMA and the 180 SMA. Both of them are acting as resistance. But I think if 87 could break, that was the high from today, and that was resistance from back on, I believe, Friday. If that could break 87, watch for a move up to 92. I think that is where we're going, and at that point, we'll probably be getting closer to my price alert here at 93, which at this point, I'm going to put that down a bit. I'm going to put it at 87. Let's put it at 87.50. So if 87.50 breaks, replace that. Boom, there we go. We're going to catch this move to 90, 92 bucks, and then that's another big resistance, because if 92 breaks, TCEHY, Tencent, I think could go back to the mid to high 90s. So this one is worth watching out of China for sure. Jmia Jumia, another one that went completely insane today, up 23%, up $8. It's almost up 24%, guys. Let's give it some more credit than just 23%, right? But yeah, Jumia is crushing it. Look at this. It's not above the moving averages, right? Like Tencent, TCEHY, going back to that one, it's holding the 180 SMA at least at a higher low. Jumia, on the other hand, it's not. It's under the 50 SMA. It's under the 180 SMA. We're seeing a death cross here, the 50 crossing under the 180. These are not the best signs, but we still have to watch it because we rallied today 24%, and now we're about to test the 50, which if we break the 50 SMA, guys, we could be gapping up to the 180, which it's a pretty big chunk. I mean, we could go, if we break 42 right around the 50 SMA resistance, I think we could fill up to 49, 50, 51, right around the 180 SMA, which gives it about 15 to 20% upside. And again, we're not going to grab all of that, but the idea is to grab our piece of the pie. So I'm watching this downtrend potential, the downtrending pattern break. I want to see it break out of that, and if so, we can grab that move on Jumia. And FedEx is another one that I've been watching, and it's kind of like, what's the analogy here? It's kind of like watching paint dry. This stuff is freaking boring. I'm waiting for FedEx to break out. I'm waiting so patiently, and I know it's coming, guys. I know it's coming. Actually, I don't know for sure that it's coming. I don't want to sound like I'm some genie, but I'm waiting for 265, and we have earnings coming up here on the 18th, so that's about 10 days away. And 265, like I said, it's like watching paint dry. This point has tested day in, day out, and it just cannot break 265. Ever since the middle of February, we've been struggling there. So I'm thinking once that breaks out, the inverse head and shoulder here on the 4-hour is going to play out. Look at this. Look at this. Left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder, boom. 265 breaks. We fill the gap to 285, 290. I think that's coming. That's about an 8% move. Look, it's not 50% like you're getting in some of these altcoins or these crazy cryptos or a lot of these, high-flying stocks, but it's 8%. If we can go in there and grab 3 to 4% of that move, make some money, I think that's a good trade. So 265, I'm going to set an alert at 265. Let me do that very quickly here on FedEx. Let's see. 265, there we go. So we'll see if it breaks that. That is FedEx. Disney is another one, which we got some news today. They are over 100 million. Disney Plus, that is. They own a lot of other streaming platforms as well, but Disney Plus topped 100 million paid subscribers today, and the stock is down 3%. This is one of those stocks, along with Coca-Cola, along with Colgate-Palmolive that I have right here. Those are a couple that I have at least. These are a couple of stocks that went down today. Disney is one of the few that went down today. And what I'm looking at here on Disney is, okay, on this 4-hour, we're pulling back, no doubt. We do see a couple supports coming up that I could see Disney get to. I mean, one of them is on the lower end, maybe 183, 185, right? That was resistance back in the beginning of January. Maybe we end up getting, Yeah, it was also a support back earlier in March, 183, 185. That could be the lower end. But if we end up holding 195 right around this 50 SMA here on the 4-hour, this could be a rip. It could rip back up to 200, 205, especially if the markets have another couple of good days. I could see Disney do that. But then again, Disney is very hot. It's done very well as the markets pull down overall. Disney really hasn't pulled down. You could argue that might bring it down to 185. So I like it at 195, but I like it even more at 185. So we're going to be patient there with Disney. And two crypto plays here, guys, which I called out yesterday morning in the morning update video on Patreon. These absolutely erupted today. I believe when I called them out, they were in the high 20s. Now, Mara was in the high 20s. Mara is now at 37. Today it went up 30%, and it went up $8. It's currently up $8.35. And what I'm noticing now here on Mara is, remember the descending triangle we were talking about yesterday morning, right? It didn't play out. If it were to play out, we would have dumped under 26, but we actually ripped out of 30, 32, all of the moving averages, and now we're gunning for those that resistance point from beginning of March, $40. So that's kind of where I think Mara is going. Then if it breaks 40, guys, watch out, especially if we continue to see this rotation back into tech, risk on. I think Mara is going to crush it. And not to mention Bitcoin. Let me check my phone here, guys. Bitcoin was up a ton earlier, 55K, I believe. Let me pull it up right now. Let's see. Coinbase, come on. And by the way, you can get $10 down below if you use my Coinbase link. Yeah. Bitcoin's at 54,000. So Bitcoin's crushing it. We're seeing a rotation back into risk on, at least right now. So Mara is up 30%. It could go to 40. If 40 breaks, it could go higher. Riot is the other one that we talked about yesterday morning on Patreon. This one is not as far out of the downtrend, but it's still doing well. In fact, it did better than Mara today. It went up 34%. It's currently up 34%. We broke the 50 SMA, the 180 SMA, and the wedge here on the hourly, but we're still under a big resistance at 57, right? That's a big point from earlier in March, end of February. So I think if 55, 57 breaks, that is where Riot could go off to the races, and I'm watching it for that exact reason. So that's it, guys. Hope you all enjoyed it. Quicker little video, and it was 22 minutes, so I guess it was a normal length video today. Let me know your thoughts down below. Shoot me a comment. Feel free to shoot me an email, a DM on Instagram if you guys have any questions. And hit the like button, subscribe, get your 2 stocks from WeBull. Those are free, valued up to $1,600. Link down below. And don't forget to check out the Patreon. I'm very active on there. I'm putting in a ton of work, so much value in the Patreon. Check it out for buy and sell alerts, call outs, stocks I'm watching. I do a morning update video every single day there on Patreon, and I do a market update video throughout the day, a lot of days throughout the week. So a lot of content on Patreon, and it's a better way to access me one-on-one if you guys want to. That is linked right down below. I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. As always, keep crushing the market. Stay safe out there, guys. Peace out.